Good afternoon, this is Jack from theartofchart.net, and this is an intraday video fairly late in the day on Friday the 29th of December. Right, this is the charting problem I've been having. I've been mentioning I've been having charting problems. This is TF as seen on a scale between 0 and 3200 on TF. Obviously the current action has more or less vanished, and I've been struggling with this on about 6 of my charts. It's a software update in Interactive Brokers, so hopefully they will have this fixed shortly. Our disclaimer: we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and we're not here to issue trading signals. Apart from Chart Chat on Sunday, this is my last video of the year, so Happy New Year to everyone, and I think 2018 is going to be a great year. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, ES. Now, this obviously was the best of the bullish patterns. Beautiful triangle, and it broke up, and it made target. The target was a full retest of the all-time high, and ES made that target. We've seen a rejection from there. I have doubts as to whether this is going to take the next step down, but if it was to take the next step down, then on a breaking conversion of 78.5, I think we'd be looking at a target in the 59 area, which is about here. I have doubts about whether we're going to see that here, and the main reason is that we haven't, well, we have unresolved patterns and setups on TF. For technical reasons, I cannot show you the TF one here, but this is the NQ one, and this is actually a pretty nice bull flag channel. Now, bull flag channels do not always break up. Sometimes they break down, and you know, no pattern gives you a 100% on direction. That's just the way it is. However, usually these break up, and this one hasn't yet broken up and is still in the channel. So if it breaks in the direction you would expect it to break in, then that breakup is still ahead. We're going to have all new monthly pivots and weekly pivots on Monday, and I should have those all out on the charts I post tomorrow. But I think this is obviously very key for next week. We do not want to see a sustained break below. Well, we're getting a converging trend lines here. We're getting the rising support trend line, which is now in the 6380 area, and we've got the flag support trend line, which is now in the 6400 area. I really don't want to see NQ below here. And I don't want to see it below here either. This could drag on for another couple of days, but if it does and we don't see a support break, then chances are that's leading up to a reversal back up. Although I am very much bearing in the cycle window on the 9th in mind. TF, well, what's there to say? Tricky one there, but I mean, at the moment we haven't broken down hard on TF, and we still have an open double bottom target above. Now, DX, we do not have any positive divergence here. We're seeing a bit of a rally, but not on positive divergence. So I'm not really seeing this as an obvious level to be reversing back up. We may well see more downside. CL. CL has reached the first of my trend lines here and is seeing some resistance. This is a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. We seem to have topped out close to this trend line for the moment. I do have my main targets are above this rising wedge target. I've got in the 61.25 area. I was showing, hang on WTIC. This is my main target, and this is now in about the 61.75 area. It could overthrow slightly, but really the sweet spot for a high is in the 61.25 to 62 area. And after that, we're expecting on the cycles for this wedge to break down, and the 50% retracement, depending on where exactly it tops out, would be in the 52 area, which is the number that Stan's been talking about. All right, let's have a look at NG. NG is an interesting one. Now, I was talking about this morning, and I cashed my second one at 3, as I said this morning. And as I mentioned this morning, I said we might well find some resistance there. We may well find the retracement starting from very near there. That retracement may have started already, but there's plenty of room for a high retest and a back test of this broken rising support at that high retest. So I'm wondering about that. But I was also talking about 3 being a magnet for the monthly close, which is, of course, tonight. And the reason I was talking about that was this. This is the NG index RTH chart, and this is the support at the monthly middle band, which is currently at 3.01 over the last year. Look at it. Support, 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 support. Went below it, closed on it. closed back above it, and we've been below it this month, but this has been a very, very important support level, and it really hasn't had a significant break below it in the last year. And would this be a significant break below it if we were to close here? It would be the most significant we've seen in a year, but really I'd like to see this closed at about 3. So SPX still holding the triangle perfectly. I haven't really been looking at the SPX triangle. The ES triangle's made target. I think the weight of the bull pattern is still remaining on certainly an NQ and TF is enough to cast serious doubts on seeing a high here. But I think certainly if the triangle's still perfect on SPX, then this is supporting. Possibly going higher or retesting on Monday. And I think on Monday we need to remember, today the stats were bearish, Monday the stats are firmly bullish. And we get people closing out the year and taking profits today, and we get them putting on new positions on Monday. And it's a pretty strong thing that happens most years. I was talking about possible rejection this morning because of the the first thing to look at, Bill, would actually be the looking at, the question is, what would be the time frame for oil to see that 53, 52 area? I'd be thinking in the next 2 or 3 months, maybe 4. But actually, if you want to see the timescales on it, have a look at the video that we did yesterday on 2018 on commodities, and you'll find Stan was looking at the cycles on oil there, and we were talking about it. So have a look at that, and your question is there. Your answer is there. Yeah, Happy New Year to one and all. It's gonna be a good year. Anyway, let's go to GC. GC has gone higher. It's killed the 60-minute sell signal, and it's gone up to 1310. This is a very strong resistance area, and it's at the top of the very strong resistance area. We no longer have any negative divergence. We've gone through my possible channel trend line that I was looking at. I need to have a thorough look at this at the weekend, and it's possible we're going to go straight up from here. But we haven't had a really good reversal pattern. And if we were to make one, then a reversal here, going back into, 1260, 1280 area, and then forming a right shoulder there and then going up would be a much better way to do it than going up directly. This looks as though it needs a retracement. It may well turn here. On the other hand, this has been a very strong move, and it's gone through a hell of a lot of sell signals so far. So would I be putting money on this on the short side? I'd have to go with no. But I think it might well reverse anyway. Right, ZB. ZB, I actually got filled. I assumed it had retested this high because I got filled on a short at 153.03, but I didn't. It must have just been near the front of the queue, as I got a really amazing fill there. No objection to those, but I was expecting to see a retest of this high. But the main pattern we're watching here is, of course, not ZB. We're not watching ZB primarily. We're watching TNX. And on TNX, we did get a lower low. And on TNX, we do have a 60-minute buy signal brewing. So it may be that I just lucked out and got a really lucky fill instead of just being one away from the fill, which is possibly what should have happened today. But what we've got here is we've got a lower low, we've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. We're in the ideal area. This is playing out as an absolute textbook triangle setup. So looking for a low in this area, could go a little lower, but really the next impulse up should be starting anytime soon. And I'm looking for quite a big move here. Stan's got 2 target areas. One of them's in the 149 area, and the other one's in the 146, 147. I'm looking for the lower one as the obvious one from my perspective. So I think gearing up for what may well be an extremely nice move on ZB. So I'm looking at that. I'm already short. I may well be adding, but I think I'd probably be waiting till Sunday night to add anything. It's weekend risk and so on. Okay, HG. HG has broken from the rising megaphone, is likely in a topping pattern. We could be forming a head and shoulder pattern. I'm going to do some more work on it on the weekend, if my charts allow me to. This is one of the 6 charts I'm having trouble with. TF's the one I haven't been able to get anything out of at all yet. The other 5 are all looking a bit strange and with much shortened time frames. But this is one of those. I think when I managed to show the megaphone, it's breaking down. We're likely in a topping process for a retracement. KC. KC is at the top of our bull flag megaphone. This may well be a bearish overthrow. I do not have any current negative divergence, so I'm wondering about it. I do have pretty good support in the 125 area, nice secondary rising support, so I'm going to be looking at that for a signal that KC is turning. I stripped down my KC and ZW positions as standard. Down to runners because it's looking too much like a bear flag. Obviously, if it goes head straight up, we'll be sorry, but not as sorry as we would be if we'd let go of the runners as well. So that's one reason why we kept them. Okay, SB. SB is breaking up through very nice wedge resistance here. This is kind of annoying unless this is a bearish overthrow. We are still on a 60-minute sell signal. We may well be seeing a reversal in the very near future. CC. CC hasn't quite made it to my reversal, my resistance trend line. I've got that in the 1925 area. I'd quite like to see it go and hit that on a retest of this high here, and I think it may well do that. No current divergence, and unless we went considerably higher, we couldn't get a 60-minute sell signal. Right, ZW. ZW, I think, is probably topping out before I retest the lows. I've got a secondary rising support trend line here as well. It's nice. It's at about 424.5, and a break of that should be the first sign that ZW is heading for a retest of the lows, although we would still obviously need to break this rising support trend line currently in the 421 area. Okay, GBP USD. Can you hear me? All right, have a great new year. Yeah, my dog's been helping with my cabling, so I lost the sound there for a minute. Yes, I don't think she understands about cabling. Anyway, we've on GBP. I was looking for a retest this high. We've seen it. We've got a 60-minute sell signal. I'm liking this for at least a retracement. This could be the second high of a double top, but I mean, for cycle reasons, I'm leaning against that. Right, EURUSD, we do not have any negative divergence here. Having a bit of a retrace, I'm not seeing anything strong to suggest that it's not going higher. As with mirror image DX, not seeing any particular reason to suggest that isn't going lower. No strong trend line reason, no signals. Right, USD/JPY, a 60-minute buy signal is fixed. We're back testing the monthly pivot. Obviously, the monthly pivot and weekly pivot only last till the end of today. We'll go all new ones for next week. So we'll see where they are, and we'll see whether or not we might be starting another leg up on USD/JPY. USD CAD, I've got a strong target here in the 123.25 area, and we might well see a bit of a bounce, and we may well see a back test of the broken double top support at 126.25, but I'm expecting to see that go lower afterwards. Australian dollar. Australian dollar, I've got quite a lot of negative divergence here, no strong trendline reason for a reversal, but could well see a reversal here, and I think the same applies to NZ, apart from no negative divergence here at all. So I'm looking here at the support trend line here in the 70.6 area, and if we see a break on that, then we could well see a larger retracement. All right, in that case, that's a wrap, guys. Everyone have a brilliant weekend and a very happy 2018. So anyway, I'll have this posted as soon as possible, and cheers, guys. Have a great holiday weekend. Well, almost a holiday weekend. Half day on Monday.